Good evening. I'm Wafa. I'm a senior at Halifax West High School. I grew up in Saudi Arabia, lived in Toronto for a few years, and now I'm expanding my horizons to Halifax. This is my home. I'm one of many immigrants who chose Nova Scotia as their home, and I see a bright future for me here. I believe I can make a contribution. Having gone through Junior Achievements program twice, I'm here to tell you why JA has been an exceptional organization for me and thousands of others. Freeman Haborski, the president of UMBC and a critical scholar in minority participation strategies, once said, "Teachers teach eternity through their students." JA has an important mission to prepare young people like me to succeed in the global economy. JA wants to help build a more sustainable Nova Scotia, which it does through programs for youth in workplace readiness, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Training is hands-on experiential learning. That means that we're encouraged to learn, to make mistakes, and to grow. The company program, which I was a part of, teaches you how to create a company, to come up with a viable business concept or a product idea, to write a business plan, find investors. In every way, you become an entrepreneur. But you also become an excellent communicator, a collaborator, and a problem solver. You even learn to pitch your idea in competition with other students, ventures across the province. So let me tell you a little about my JA experience. I was 16 when I was president of my first company, Rising Apparel, a clothing brand focused to motivate youth to engage and work together for meaningful change. As a team, we were interested in not just making something, but wanting to do something important. We wanted to inspire students to live larger and dream bigger. As a team of 9, I learned quickly how challenging it is to be a leader. I had tremendous responsibility upon me, and it was profoundly humbling. I grew as an individual, but more importantly, we grew as a team. We learned to support one another, to celebrate each other's successes and our collective successes. And we also learned to push each other to be our best. There were moments where we had to figure out how to deal with tough situations, frustrations, conflicts, and even doubt. So all the while, we were supported by an amazing team of volunteers who encouraged us and coached us and helped us realize our potential. That year, we won regional and provincial pitch-in, a Dragon's Den style competition. Through JA's award and scholarship program, we also took home individual and team awards. My second year, we formed Ignite, a candle manufacturing brand, representing the idea of investing in the education of newcomers and refugees, and to make a more diverse and welcoming Canada. I was president for a second time, and I look back now and realize that I really had the opportunity to grow as a leader by implementing the Platinum Rule. Not the Golden Rule, which is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, but rather to treat others how they wish to be treated. This meant that I learned to really listen to concerns of every team member and to ensure that others were doing the same. This led to a very strong alignment in our mission, vision, and goals. Along with that, of course, I was exposed to the different aspects of the business, and as a result, I developed a keen interest in the positive power of business through innovation and empowerment. JA helped me recognize what it takes to reach my goals. As young people, we don't know what we don't know, which is why programs like those of JA are critical. I would imagine that there are many parents in the room. Do you want your kids to learn about personal budgeting, the pitfalls of credit, and the importance of investing? Do you want your kids to develop a career path and have confidence about where they're headed, and develop the tools of self-management to get there? Do you want all the youth in this province to help build new business activity, to be leaders and innovators? I'm here to tell you, help you the next generation of leaders. JA has a grade 6 program called Our Business World, and right now we need your support. This program is an introductory program where students learn about why businesses are created, how they operate, and how businesses create profit. Students learn the basics of finance, marketing, human resource management, production, and more. We instill in them an interest in entrepreneurship and give them the opportunity to learn about building a commercial skill set early on. We have programs booked at the Atlantic View Elementary School and Bell Park Academic Center, Sackville High Junior High, and Leslie Thomas Junior High, representing 16 classes, but we need your financial support to help us deliver these programs before the school year is over. Your gift of $10,000 could help us reach 10 of these classes, representing at least 240 students. I benefited from JA, and I want that for others. Next year, I plan to pursue a Bachelor of Commerce at St. Mary's University, and I am super excited. I've even earned a scholarship from St. Mary's through JA. JA teaches us to have the ability to recognize options in the work field, the industries, the problems facing us as a province, and the possible solutions. We're given the tools and skills to bring our ideas to life. What we need is a platform that teaches us to learn how to think, make smart choices, and make decisions on our own. And this is what JA does, and why I believe every person at an early age should be exposed to it. Please give us the gift of financial literacy, of workplace readiness, and of entrepreneurship. Invest in today's youth, because we will be tomorrow's leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Alpha. I would now like to introduce and call to the stage Tova Sherman of Reachability. She's the CEO.
Hello, ladies, and thank you so much for including Reachability in today's festivities. I use the word festivities because it is truly festive when we come together to contribute to our community. Reachability as an agency was developed 16 years ago as a true grassroots approach to servicing people within the HRN who aren't always having the playing field equalized. Reachability specializes in supports for persons with all types of disabilities. We're what we call cross-disability. And actually our services are more than just grassroots, they're all free. Reachability provides education, employment, recreation. We've got a DJ program. We've got a film festival, the only one in Canada dedicated to youth and adults, providing a truly creative voice to the disability community. We even have legal services. But the thing that I'm here to talk about today is our mental health clinic. Reachability is aware that our 350 plus clients that we work with throughout the year and provide all of these services are facing a crisis in mental health. You see it in the paper, you read it in the magazines, you know what's going on. But here's what I'm here to tell you. As a person who lives with a mental illness, who lives on the ADHD spectrum and quite severe, I experienced intense bullying growing up, and as a young adult, it affected me deeply in terms of my decision making and the healthy choices that I had to make. I'm here to ask you to help support our clinic, because at Reachability, what we have is capacity. We've started a mental health clinic for people who are not suicidal. I say that because in the province of Nova Scotia, in order to access free therapy services, you must state that you are suicidal. And for me, that was unacceptable. And for my staff, who also live with disability. We are not only a group of people supporting mental health consumers, in fact, we are ourselves mental health consumers. So frankly, I'm here to speak to you on 2 points. As a person who's experienced it and knows what the stigma feels like, and as a person who is working with clients, 350 per year, and trying to provide them free mental health services before they hit that tipping point. That tipping point where what is clearly a sense of trauma and stigma when they walk in the door, that tips and tips and tips until they say, yes, I am suicidal, please provide me services. I'm here because that $10,000 you provide at a place like Reachability might as well be 10 million, and I mean that. Because to us, $10,000 is a tremendous amount of money. Because of the incredibly dedicated staff we have, 20 staff, again, the majority who self-identifies living with disability, because of the board we have, because of the over 400 volunteers we have, including lawyers from across Nova Scotia who provide free legal services for people facing issues. Because of all of the things we do and the capacity that we've built over the last 16 years, trying to serve this community honestly and fairly, and to really focus on the local people and the local needs of our community. We often say, you know, charity starts at home. Well, for me, I'm born and raised in Halifax, and this is my home. And I'm determined to provide people who aren't suicidal access to a talk therapist who not only has specialty in trauma, but with your support, we would take unsupported initiatives, specifically our pet-assisted therapist, who I've identified, who I just met her dog Gucci this morning. And we're pretty excited about bringing her in to Reachability and doing a pilot project working with the mental health consumers within our organization and providing them literally a therapist whose expertise and training is in bringing pets, and not just cute dogs, but pets of all sorts. Presently, we have a fish in the office. I don't quite get it, but I'm all over it. So for me, I just want to say that I don't look at $10,000 and go, well, that might do this. I look at $10,000 and think, my God, with the people who work at Reachability, with the team that we have, with the 350 consumers who come to me and say, Tova, I don't think I'm good at anything. This is time for us to utilize every piece of service we can and bring together every human being in our community and simply say, with your $10,000 support, our mental health clinic can add a pet-assisted therapist. We will start providing off-hour clinic services, which we've had to stop doing because we simply don't have funding. And what that means is the people that we assist in getting employment, and by the way, we have some of the best employment numbers for persons with disabilities in the country in terms of success getting them to employment and keeping them there. That's huge. I went through a lot of jobs, and I went through a lot of experiences, and I can tell you that Reachability is a group of people committed to taking your donation and turning it into something that is a huge gap in this community. I often say I'm like a lava flow. If I see a gap, I might want to fill it. If it's filled, I keep moving. So I ask you to support this lava flow because this is truly the grassroots community agency that is attempting to do things that frankly haven't been done before. So I thank you so much for your time today and your effort, but I also congratulate the others here because there's no question that both those agencies deserve our support as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Tova. I would now like to introduce and call to the stage Susan Willis. She is the Executive Director with Point Pleasant Child Care Center.
I'm going to use a few of my precious minutes just to say that was pretty powerful. Listening to those stories, very, very powerful. Thank you for that. So I am honored to be here this evening to speak about arguably one of my most passionate topics, and that's Point Pleasant Child Care Center. Point Pleasant Child Care Center was started in the early 70s with some federal money at the time, and we've been going strong ever since. We have 110 children, work out of 3 locations, and we have great staff. I've been the Executive Director at Point Pleasant Child Care Center for 38 years, and really, it feels like the blink of an eye. I can't believe it when I say that. And my passion, my commitment is to creating an organization that is a community, that feels like a community, that gives people a sense of belonging, children a sense of belonging. And to illustrate that, I can tell you that I have come so far in my career that now I'm enrolling the children of children who used to come to the child care program. And in an odd kind of tweak of justice, one of my nonprofit board members used to come to the center when he was a little boy. So our organization makes such an impact because of the people. Working with people in any nonprofit is about building relationships, and that's sure what early childhood programs are all about. One of my favorite quotes is that we are always in a state of becoming, and that's what I see our educators are doing. They're helping children to become. Children are developing, they're growing, they're becoming. We might use words like play-based or child-centered, but make no mistake that in a high-quality early child care environment, it's more than mere supervision or fun activities. There is so much that I could tell you about our organization and how we care for and educate children. I could use words like emergent, responsive, intentional, inclusive, or developmentally appropriate, but these would be just words in the end. I want to tell you a story that I hope will illustrate what taking those words and turning it into action actually looks like. Some years ago, we enrolled a child with cerebral palsy. The child was non-mobile, and as she gained physical ability, she began to use a walker and a wheelchair. She progressed socially, making very close friends who accepted her, friends who didn't see her disability, they saw her. I wish I could show you a picture of her that we have, and it's a beautiful picture. The children are standing in a playhouse, and there were 3 children with her, and because she couldn't really stand safely on her own, those 3 children just kind of instinctively kind of nudged closer into her and held her up. And she looks like a flower emerging out of the leaves of her friends. It's quite touching. She progressed cognitively. Her vocabulary increased rapidly, and although she was difficult to understand at times, she did love to have long conversations. She was curious and loved to explore, needed a cuddle now and then when she became frustrated by her physical limitations. But we watched her blossom right before our eyes. And then one day I remember watching her walk unaided across the classroom, amazed that even though she tottered and was unsteady, she was determined to reach her destination, and she was successful. There is no doubt that this was a very determined young lady. However, I know that our collective efforts to help her to develop her physical skill were important, but perhaps more importantly were the skills that she derived to help her navigate the emotional world that she was going into. So over the years, there have been many such stories. And I want to tell you that about a year ago, she came in to visit, and this young girl, she's in junior high now, and she's taking dance lessons, and she had just debuted on the stage. Did the acceptance and quiet support of her peers contribute to the development of her healthy self-image? Did we collectively help her to gain the confidence to challenge herself, accept herself, and know that she was loved for herself? I like to think so, and I get goosebumps when I think about her dancing on that stage. What we tell children about themselves becomes their reality. As educators, we act as a mirror, reflecting the child back to themselves. Everything in the environment matters, but none more so than how we make children feel. Children need to see themselves in the world around them. They must recognize themselves in others, whether it is skin color or physical ability. As you know, it is sometimes difficult to take the actions we need in order to live our values, particularly if there are financial constraints. We wanted to ensure that our commitment to inclusion was visible, so some years ago, we were able to employ a teaching assistant with special needs under a wage subsidy program. And what I didn't want to be was that organization that employed them when their wages were subsidized and then let them go because we couldn't afford them. The impact of having this person on our staff was so powerful for the children that we found ways to find funds within our budget to hire her on a part-time basis after the program ended. Your support this evening will allow us to offer her full-time employment, as well as fulfill the dream to hire another adult with special needs on a part-time basis. By supporting adults with special needs, we create opportunities for them to be engaged in meaningful work and to become a part of our community. This is a natural extension of our organizational mission, which is to ensure that every child and adult feels the power of their own possibility. I would like to thank you very much for hearing our story this evening, and to just tell you that this has nothing to do with my presentation. Early childhood education is really important for our young children, and good early childhood education is the key. It's not a space, it's not a service, it is something that we have to do to help grow children, to help them be in the world. Thank you for your time.
Let's have another round of applause for all three of us. As you can see, we have three organizations here tonight that are very worthy of receiving funds. So many of our charities in Halifax do so much with so little. So it's that time of the evening for you to pull out your ballots, and I'm going to just get you to remember not to fold them, going to turn them upside down and pass them to the middle. We just want to save time when we're counting them, so no origami, no special folding for luck. It takes too much time in the other room, so just, so to remind you again, if you want to look at the screen, we've got 1, 2, and 3 who they are, and for those of you who need a pen or a ballot, if you didn't have a ballot, anyone needs a pen or a ballot, you can put your hand up. And I just want to remind you again, 1 ballot only. So we'll have some of our gals coming up to the center to collect them. So can everyone read the screen to see, you're circling 1, 2, or 3, is everyone okay to read that? Is anyone, everyone's okay? So some of our volunteers, Laura, will be walking up the center to pick those up. And if anyone needs a pen, just make sure you put your hand up. So it's 1, 2, or 3. I just want to remind you again with this slide, if you want to take a look and see who we have really helped so far. And this information is also on our website, but just while we're collecting this, just to take a look going back to our very first meeting along the way, you can see how the funds have increased along the way. Know that we've been over 200 members for quite some time. We don't have all our members make each event, but we want you to know that we are more than an event. We are a membership. When you register, you become a member, and we ask you to honor that commitment to make donations for at least a year, for $100 4 times a year. So we want to keep growing this, and as you can see, we've been quite successful. We started off with 100 women. We actually changed our logo and made it 100 plus. So we've been giving a significant dollar amount along the way. So for your friends that haven't made it tonight as well, the same ways we want you to spread the word, we want you to remind them that they can drop off a check to our locations, but also make that donation online now right away as well. So now Jessica is going to introduce you to our, someone who's going to tell us about what they're doing with the dollars our former recipient received.
So I'd like to introduce and welcome to the stage Alana Doucette. She is going to talk about what has been done and what they plan to continue doing with the funds that they received at the March 1st meeting. She is with the Boys and Girls Club of Sackville.
I have to say, this is much better than last time. I was a little nervous last time, but now I feel good. So I've been able to, oh, come on. Thank you. We had major technical difficulties. So first off, I'd like to thank you all again for choosing us last meeting. The money has been fought over, has been changed, has been decided, has gone back and forth a few times. As you saw just up on the screen, and I think the new candidates have mentioned, for a nonprofit organization, having 5 minutes to be able to raise that amount of money is almost unheard of for us. So we were very excited. When I left the meeting last time, I think I floated all the way down the sidewalk and I couldn't stop talking. And John, who had come with me, our executive director, said, "Are you not finished talking?" I'm like, "No, you don't understand. I think that was the best thing I've ever done in my whole life." So it was pretty exciting. And so I get to now tell you a little bit about what we've done with some of those funds. And some of the funds are to be spent because, as you saw, it was specific to our summer camp. Shockingly enough, it's not summer here yet. I don't think we've even reached spring. So some of the things that we've been able to do is we've made some renovations in our space, and that space has allowed us to extend to youth and to an older age group. So we've been able to put in some really important safety pieces. We have now a check-in desk, so parents are able to go to one place, check their kids in, check their kids out. We're able to then very quickly check where everybody is. As some of you may know, we're in the Sackville Heights Community Center, and so there's a lot of people in and out of there, and this allows us to to really have a good handle on the kids coming in and out of our building. Summertime, we have 75 children registered, and that's a lot of kids at 5 o'clock when everybody's coming at the same time. So the renovations of providing a desk and some visible space for parents to come through has been a godsend for us, and will not only just help us in the summer, but will continue on throughout our school time. We've been also able to receive 15 additional children and youth each week for all 9 weeks. With the funds, we've been able to hire a staff person. The demand in Sackville is huge for quality childcare at an affordable cost. So some of the monies, as well as partnering with our club, we've been able to hire a staff that has allowed us to bring on 15 more children. And that's been a huge help. Right now we have a wait list of close to 20 children for this summer program itself. So bringing on these 15 has reduced that number significantly. 45 children and youth coming to our summer program this summer are coming at a reduced rate, and they're coming at a savings of our families of approximately $5,000. We've been able to subsidize or pay in full families who are needing assistance in providing summer camp. Many of our families are single parent or dual working families that $115 a week adds up pretty quickly, especially with a couple of kids. And so we've been able to offset some of those costs for our families. So 45 children are able to come and attend the club all summer long at a reduced rate, and that is totally based on the funds that we've been able to receive from you lovely ladies. We've also established a free youth drop-in program. Many of our youth have nothing to do, have nowhere to go, but families are not willing or can't necessarily afford to pay for a youth to come to a program. If I'm 17 or 15 or 14 or right on that cusp of I think I know everything 13, I have one of those. I don't want to go to a day camp program. That's not cool, that's not fun, I don't want to play there, I don't want to do that. And so with your funds, we've been able to partner with the community center, provide a space for the youth every single week, provide gym time every single session that allows them to come and make choices of their own. So they can come in and out, they are able to decide what they are going to do, but families know that they're safe. Families know that they have a place to be, and the families know that we are supervising them and making sure that they're not doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. The other piece is we actually went back to the youth and the children and we asked them if you could dream a big dream and you could wave your magic wand. That's my favorite saying. Wave your magic wand and tell me what you want and let me see if I can be the fairy. They said they wanted better technology. They struggle with having technology. So what we've decided to do is we've purchased 4 laptops. And the reason we went with laptops was because they are movable. We can put them from room to room. The youth can take them into their space. We can put them back. They can get locked up. It was just a much better way for all of the children who are in our space, who are going to be with us, to access all of the technology that they can. Many of our families have a variety of technology, but a lot of the children do not have time to spend working on things and doing things. So one of the things that we've noticed, we have a summer newspaper, and that's one of the things that the kids have struggled with, is each site that we have provide a newspaper, and these laptops will bring this particular site and these kids up to the same speed as some of the other sites that we have, and will allow them to do reporting and to do those kinds of things that we haven't been yet able to do in that particular site. We also have been able to purchase a significant amount of supplies. As many of you know, your children come home every day with lovely creativity and things that you put on the fridge and then hope they fall off and break. But we spend a lot of time and energy on those beautiful things, but they cost a lot of money. Paper plates, if you'd be shocked to know how much money we spend in a year on paper plates. But what you have allowed us to do is to purchase a significant amount of supplies, not only to supply our entire summer with everything that they could possibly need or want, but many of the supplies will actually move into the fall. So your money, although was specific for our summer programs, it will be very clear that many of the supplies and the things that we've been able to purchase will not just stay for the summer. We've also purchased games and new things for the kids to play with, which will allow for many of them to have something different. So we've been able to look and get some more educational or literacy games, which are very expensive for us to purchase on a regular basis, and so this money has helped us do that. Lastly, I would just like to say that coming to this meeting, hearing the ladies tonight and being part of it the last time, I know you make a difference, and I know that's why you keep coming back and you keep doing what you're doing. But as a recipient and as someone who lives and breathes my club, it's made a major impact for us. And we've been able to do things that we would not actually thought were imaginable. So I do thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I know all my kids will thank you. The 75 children that will come every single day to the club will thank you. And we have talked a lot about the 100 women who are very famous right now. We talk a lot about that. The 100 women gave us that. And so you can hear the 5-year-olds going, that new paint came from the 100 women. So they're very aware where this they wanted to know why they couldn't come. I told some of them they couldn't come because they were boys. And we are girls. And they didn't think that was very fair. But we have been inspired as a Boys and Girls Club. And starting in September, our Torch program, which is our leadership program, is joining the 100 Children Who Care. We are making a point that all of our Torch clubs who raise money for a variety of organizations on their own will come and be part of. We will bring the children to the meetings, and we will participate as a Boys and Girls Club Torch. But each of those children will now become a member of the 100 women who, or 100 Children Who Care. So thank you very much, and we hope to be back with that as well. So enjoy your evening, and again, I appreciate your time and as well as your efforts. Thank you.
Well, as you can see, they really do a lot with the money that they receive, and we're just delighted to hear the update. It's very inspiring. I'd like to say that Paula is here tonight from 100 Kids, so make sure if you have any questions, you can talk to her. So the more we get the giving continuing in Halifax, the better off we all are in our community. So just a reminder that our next meeting is Tuesday, September 6th at the Marriott Harbourfront, so that's the one on the water. And again, remember, if you have a question, always go to the website. That's always where it will be. So far, we've been very fortunate to have the same Tuesday every quarter, but we totally rely on sponsor space and things like that. So if any of you have any contacts with hotels or people that would like to host or donate to us in any way, please let us know. And again, having said that, a big warm thank you and a round of applause for a little piece of information that you are interested in.
And the donation recipient of our 14th meeting is Reachability.
So the checks will get made out to Reachability. Do you need us?
Reachability, don't need association.
Okay.
There's only one of us.
Only one. There's only one TOVA and there's only one Reachability. So. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to seeing you again. Our other recipients will go back in into our draw again. So we hope that you will spread the word and tell everybody about these groups. And again, the idea of this is not just $100. We're very delightful that we can do that, but we hope that each of you will consider leaning into the community a little further and giving up your time and talents as well. We know we've got a lot of wonderful women in the room that can help us out in some other ways as well. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in 3 months.
Thank you.